Good afternoon, everybody. This is Sad Barry Beer with you. Um, Welcome to Sunday afternoon, my last day of June. And the reason why I'm feeling like this is I've had some sad news on Friday, and I won't bring it up on the show, but on the show today we will be talking about gambling again. And here with his opening sequence on gambling, why you shouldn't borrow money. Here's my upsider. Good afternoon.
G'day, Barry. G'day to all our viewers. Thanks for having me on the show, first of all. And as Barry's already mentioned, we are talking about gambling and some of the real unfortunate impacts of gambling, such as borrowing money from your friends and losing it all.
And we did a segment on this a little while back on Joe's birthday. Now here it is to um tell you about that and his opening sequence.
Yeah, that's right, Barry. That was about 3 weeks ago now, I think, that we first spoke about gambling and covered a few of the issues surrounding gambling. Um, the main one being that it is a losing battle. No one who gambles wins in the long run.
And the rule is you cannot, we repeat, we cannot or you cannot borrow money even if it's $20. Here's my upsider.
Yeah, that's absolutely right, Barry. Money that you feed into a poker machine or any form of gambling, really, it's not a smart decision, and it's certainly not a smart way to spend other people's money because you're essentially just throwing their money away, which they've lent to you.
And you're betraying their trust. Here's my upsider.
That's absolutely right, Barry. In taking their money and putting it into some form of gambling, it is betraying their trust because I certainly don't know anyone that would lend um, another person money for the purpose of using that um, in some form of gambling.
And it is illegal. So please do not do it. Here's my upsider.
That's absolutely right, Barry, and we do urge you on this show to stay away from gambling in all forms.
I mean, if you want to have a flutter, that's perfectly okay. And then we said on the last program we did on gambling, bet with your head and not over it. Here's my upside.
Yeah, absolutely, Barry. Bet with your head, not over it. If you're gonna do gambling of any form, then by all means, put a couple of dollars in, or whatever. But it's never money that you should be guaranteeing that you'll get back.
And, and set yourself a limit too. Here's my upside.
Yeah, absolutely. Set yourself a limit, and whatever you do, don't go beyond that limit. You can gamble, you know, if you set yourself a limit of $50 for the night, don't ever go further than that. Think, oh, I'll make it back, because chances are you won't.
Our next topic today on the show is respecting people's privacy when they're grieving. Here's my upsider to tell you about this important thing.
That's right, Barry. Thanks very much. And it is very important to be sensitive to how that person is feeling. Um, Showing empathy doesn't necessarily mean that you're just asking them questions and prying. Showing empathy is waiting for the appropriate time to ask how they're feeling, and let them be the ones to offer information if they choose to.
And don't go blabbing around confidential stuff either. If someone's grieving like I am at this point in time, here's my offside.
That's right, Barry. And as you say, the person who's grieving is
Which
entitled
is
to their.
me.
That's right. You're entitled to your privacy surrounding that matter, and you're entitled to the space that you need and the time that you're needing to grieve and deal with the loss that you've experienced.
We all know that we lose people in our lives, but the message that I would like to say on the show right now is please give time and space to the person like me, like this weekend, for example. Like on Friday, I had some sad news, and I give my outsider permission to share that. Here he is.
Thanks, Barry. Yeah, it was only about 10 minutes ago or so that you pulled me aside and you told me the very sad news that this week your mother passed away. And yeah, it was only by the fact that you felt like you wanted to share that information with me that I came to know that. And so, yeah, in that scenario, it's very important to respect your personal privacy, that sort of thing. And we're wishing you well in the next couple of days as you um, come to terms with this loss.
The last two things on the show this afternoon, we opened the show about gambling and we will close the show about gambling again. Now, the topic we always bring up on the show is always please do not ring 000 unless you have an emergency. We have said this a number of times when I've done my YouTube videos with you, and here's my outsider to tell you the importance of not ringing 000 when you don't have an emergency.
That's right, Barry. And that's a very serious issue that we bring up a lot. It's because a lot of people do need the emergency services. There's very stretched, very thin service because there are a lot of people who are experiencing emergencies that need urgent response, um, and people who um, call that number without a need to call that number are essentially taking that valuable service, whether it be a paramedic or a police officer or a fire person, um, they're robbing that person of their right to that service.
So we want to encourage you to think clearly before making that call. Here's my offside.
That's right, Barry. And when we say think clearly, we really mean that it's very important to observe your situation and give yourself a moment just to think about, is this situation one that warrants calling um, 000? For example, if you are suffering from hay fever or a cold, it doesn't mean that you need a paramedic to respond.
So don't be an idiot with that number, please. Here's my offside.
Absolutely, Barry. Very simple way to remember this rule. Don't be an idiot. Use your head. Same rules we use for gambling. Use your head, not over it.
And if you need a taxi, dial for a taxi, not an ambulance.
Yeah, different number.
And our closing message, we open the show with is gambling, and here is my outsider now to give you that important fact about gambling before we close the show into the afternoon and evening. So here he is.
Thanks very much, Barry, and I just want to thank you again for having me on the show. It's always a privilege to be here and use your show to talk to your many viewers. We will close with that very important message as a reminder to gamble responsibly. If you are someone who is prone to addiction or has experienced a gambling addiction at some point, it's important that you don't surround yourself with those sorts of things, which are very addictive um, platforms and games to play.
And another thing I'd like to close the show with, guys, please give me time and space as I am grieving. And I've had some rough couple of days and hit my offside.
Absolutely, Barry. You certainly are entitled to that space that you're so desperately needing. Myself and the other staff here will certainly try and provide you with that in any way we can. Um,
And the third closing message is don't ask questions if it's not necessary because it could upset me. Here's my offside.
Absolutely, Barry. Yeah, we recognise that it's sometimes a very hard thing to talk about, which is where, with yourself and anybody who's dealing with loss or grieving, it's very important that you are attentive to those people, but in a way that you're not prying for information or um, asking too many questions. You're more or less just allowing them to talk to you when they're ready.
So, in ending this show today, today on a positive note, we had a lovely dinner tonight, and here's Joe to tell you about it.
Thanks, Barry. Is it a roast? Tonight's a roast. As far as I know, we've done a bit of a combination here for people who like chicken. We have chicken, and we also have beef for anyone who like beef.
So, on that note, viewers, thanks for joining me here, and thanks for your support over this difficult time this weekend. I am gonna need a lot more. Here's my offside and with his closing message.
Goodbye, viewers. Thanks again, Barry, to you for having me. And thanks for our viewers for watching tonight.
And from me, this is a sad Barry Fair saying good afternoon. And here's my offside.
Thanks, Barry. We're wishing you all the best. If we can be of any support in the meantime, please let us know.
Okay, and the way it is this Sunday, the 30th of June, this is Barry Fair, a sad Barry Fair, wishing you a very good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody.